We've all got one. That big idea, that dream, that kind of sparks something in you and feels like it could change everything. But what happens when that dream just sits there? Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful, maybe even kind of uncomfortable idea about why that happens. Let's get right into it.
So let's just start with a statement that probably feels completely wrong. Most dreams don't actually fail. I mean, we're taught our whole lives to be afraid of failure, to see it as the enemy. But what if failure isn't the real threat here? What if the thing that truly kills our ambitions is something a lot quieter? Because this is what really happens. They don't go out in some big, dramatic crash and burn. They just expire. Yeah, like that carton of milk you forgot about in the back of the fridge. They die a quiet little death while we're busy making the perfect to-do list, never even getting a chance to see the light of day. And that leads us straight into what you could call the planning trap. You know that feeling, right? You're so busy, your calendar is packed, you feel productive, but when you look back, you haven't actually moved forward an inch. It's the perfect illusion of progress, and it's one of the most dangerous places for any dream to get stuck. I bet this cycle looks pretty familiar. First, we research. Oh, we research everything. We read all the books, we watch all the videos, we become a world-class expert on the theory of our dream. Then comes the plan, the beautiful, color-coded, flawless blueprint. And after all that work, we wait. We just get stuck in this loop, always feeling like we're just about to start. So what are we waiting for, really? We're waiting for the perfect time. That magical day when the stars align and we have just enough money, just enough knowledge, just enough confidence. But let's be honest, that perfect moment, it's a myth. It's not coming. It never, ever arrives. And that kind of reframes the whole idea of planning, doesn't it? We tell ourselves it's about being smart and strategic, but really, so much of the time, it's just a form of emotional safety. It's a nice, comfortable cocoon we build to protect ourselves from the scary, messy, unpredictable world that exists outside of our perfect plan. And here's the honest truth, the gap between what we tell ourselves and what's really going on. We say, I'm preparing, I'm doing my due diligence. It sounds so responsible, so adult. But if we're being brutally honest, what we're really doing is hiding. Hiding from what exactly? Well, we're hiding from the judgment of other people if it doesn't work out. We're hiding from the sheer uncertainty of it all, because, let's face it, nothing is guaranteed. And maybe most of all, we're hiding from the risk of just looking foolish, of trying something and falling flat on our face. Okay, so if the planning trap is the symptom, then what's the actual disease? Let's get into our next section and unmask the real culprit here, the true enemy of our ambition. And I'll tell you, it's probably not what you think. It's so easy to blame a lack of talent, isn't it? We look at people who've made it and we think, oh, they must have some special gift that I just don't have. But that's just not true. That's an easy out. Talent is almost never the reason a dream lives or dies. The true killers, they're all internal. You've got overthinking, which just paralyzes you with endless what-ifs. You've got that fear we just talked about. And then there's a sneaky one, comfort. Just the warm, cozy blanket of your current routine that stops you from ever stepping out into the cold unknown. And all of this, it all leads to this single, crucial idea. Seriously, if you remember one thing, let it be this. The biggest killer of ambition is not failure, it's hesitation. It's that tiny little pause between having the idea and doing something about it. When that pause stretches from seconds to days to weeks to years, that's where dreams go to die. All right, so we've diagnosed the problem pretty clearly. But what's the cure? How do we actually fight back against hesitation? Well, let's dive into the final and honestly the most important part, the antidote. And it's way simpler than you might think. This is the big mindset shift you have to make. You don't need a better, more detailed plan. You don't need to take another online course or read another book. What you desperately, urgently need is to take a first, messy, imperfect step. Just one single action. We have got to let go of this obsession with perfection. Your first try at anything is supposed to be a little clumsy. Your first draft doesn't need to be a masterpiece. Dreams are not built on perfection. It's a myth. So what do they need? It's this simple. They need movement, forward momentum. Any action is better than perfect inaction. Because movement creates clarity. It gives you real-world feedback. It makes the idea real. Movement is the oxygen your dream needs to breathe. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Not tomorrow, not sometime next week. Today, right now. What is one small, imperfect, messy little step you can take to breathe some life back into that dream you've had stuck in the planning stage? Seriously, don't just think about it. Go do it.